This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Live from RAC Arena in Perth, it's arguably the game of the season so far as Perth host reigning champions Sydney. The Queensland Derby was a thrill. This is a hard act to follow, but look at the importance of this game on the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. Perth fourth can overtake Sydney with a victory. That's how tight it is. I'm with NBL royalty, Damien Martin and Trevor Gleeson to call this game. Pleasure to be courtside. This is going to be outstanding.
Oh, no basketball played last weekend. This is the matchup that I think the Wildcats thought about for their 2 days off. But here we are, tip-off's begun. Wildcats have it. I cannot wait for it. All the matchups are scintillating, especially Jalen Adams and Bryce Cotton.
Two MVP candidates, and Pender busy early down low as well. Has to reset here against Valentine. Marches over the top of him and gets it done.
That's a strong move. Big play coming inside early against the Sydney defense. Pender using his strength to override Valentine in the post.
Valentine shares it across. Tui, wraparound pass for Hunter, back into the starting lineup. The Sydney starting five, they made one change to the lineup that lost against Melbourne when they last played 2 weeks ago, with Geordie Hunter back from injury and Jonah Bolden resuming his bench role. And the smarts of Alex Tui, he's been outstanding. He's started every game this year, Trev. From a coaching perspective, I don't think anyone could have expected that he would be so good so quickly.
And that's why his numbers rising on the NBA draft board. He has a very, very smart noggin upstairs and makes good plays. Like that, he makes the feed into Hunter, into the post, and gets to the foul line instead of shooting that rush shot from outside.
So Burgers straight away. The code word is team. Kings don't give too much over to the Perth fans, but how about that? Free Hungry Jacks. Get to the app and help yourself if you live in WA. And the chance here for the Wildcats. Then Cotton, he fires from long range off the mark. Hogue hands over, Valentine looking to get busy, works to the elbow, isolated against Pender, likes his chances, can't convert. Tui grabbed the O-board but couldn't clean it up.
Significant height advantage against Bryce Cotton, so he crushed that O-board hard. Unlucky not to come over with the putback for Tui there, but he started very well.
Oh, good body work there from Ty Webster, but he couldn't finish it off. Missed opportunity. Kings still looking for their first score. We played 90 seconds. And they go to Jalen Adams, who feeds Tui. Hunter working baseline, dances into the paint, finishes in style.
Yeah, both teams just feeling each other out at the moment. Who's the matchups here? Interesting to see who beyond Bryce Cotton to start off with, and he's going to use that speed to create that shot off target, but that's going to be an issue for Sydney.
It's Adams, lob pass, Hunter from close range. Much improved player, and we saw Luke Longley here who's doing a lot of work with him, and it's paying off.
Yeah, Longley raves about him. I was fortunate enough to catch up with Luke yesterday for some breakfast down in Fremantle, and you bring up Geordie Hunter's name and a smile crosses Luke's face. Big fan of his, and why wouldn't you be with the start he's had so far?
Here's Doolittle coming off his best game of the season before the break. Can't convert there. Wildcats, with their shooting woes at the moment, just 1 of 5 from the field. Kings a little more efficient at 2 of 4 so far. Adams in traffic. Pender may have had a piece of that. And now Webster charges up. Pender with a finish. He threw it down too hard on the rim. So 1 of 6 now for the Wildcats. Lob pass for Tui. Asked a lot of him. Just a little too much on it from Valentine as Cotton looks to go coast to coast. And he's fouled by Geordie Hunter. Free throws to come for the Maestro.
Yeah, pretty hectic pace to start off with, Casey, on the transition. As you can see, got some heat, and he's just overcooked this. Pender got the block deflection down the other end, running the lanes, and that's the one he's got to put away. Just got to separate it from the rim, and then Bryce coming to the basket, gets hit on the arm, gets to the line. Everyone can have a little bit of a breather after the first 2 minutes.
There's the heavyweights from Sydney. Andrew Bogut, Luke Long, Paul Smith, the owner. There's Bryce Cotton. This is a free throw as well. When these teams played back in round 3, Perth leapt out of the blocks and led 21-9, but Sydney finished on top overall. It was 99-86. They won the rebound count handsomely. And that just eases the equation. Almost 3 minutes played here in the opening quarter. As Adams Takes on Webster, picks up the dribble. This is Valentine. Working on Cotton with a height advantage. Pass over the back to Tui, who's shut down by Hiram Harris. Shot clock up to 1. Tui needs to get it off. A hoe with a buzzer in the background. Can't convert. Valentine the O-board, and Adams goes back to it. He's hit a 3 in every game this season. Valentine, and he adds to the tally.
Just crashing the glass, getting those extra possessions. That height and length. You see Sydney really trying to pump that ball inside and attack the rim early. And working on it from the offensive end.
So good at the defensive end, TJ Hogue. He's top 5 in the league in blocks. He was top 3 in block shots last season when playing in Cairns.
Very underrated part of his game, as we talk about it being a prolific scorer and his ability with ball in hand, but at the other end, he's one of the best two-way players in the league.
Here's Webster, shot clock at single digits against Hunter. Did a good job to corral him there. Doolittle aggressively to the rack. Can't convert, gets his own rebound, earns a trip to the free throw line.
And they're the little shots Wildcats have got to make. Keep the score pressure on. You can see they missed a couple of layups, missed a dunk, missed the N1 there before with Bryce on the layup, and another layup. You just got to keep that scoreboard pressure on early, because Sydney are coming here to play. Just early in the game, they are coming here to play.
Well, they were 2-5 at one stage, the Wildcats, and when they went through that 4-game losing streak, a lot of it was poor shooting. They couldn't hit a 3 in a couple of games, and then they were struggling from the field overall. And here they are 1 of 9 at the moment.
Well, Case, out of that, offensive rebound, they were crashing the glass. Now, I haven't seen that effort on the glass just at the moment. That might come a little bit later, but Sydney are big. They've got some big bodies out there with Hunter, with DJ. They're going to hold their own on the glass.
And they lead the competition in rebounding at the moment as Jalen Adams peels off another 3. So it's a 5-point advantage for the Sydney Kings as we welcome him from courtside. Annalie Maley, who's with us here, who's working. Pinder putting on a show, Annalie.
Yeah, good timing. Thanks, Keanu. I just wanted to highlight JR's on the sideline telling his team to push in transition even off of a dead ball. So even when Sydney scored, he's telling them to go fast down the other end.
And you can see Sydney pushing the ball. They do push the ball. They want to get the ball out of the net, and they're trying to get teams caught in the defensive transition. So it's going to be an interesting battle.
There's the aggressive Hiram Harris. Can't convert, tough shot. Well done, Bolden. Hands over to Adams. Valentine between the legs for Hogue, who pulls the trigger on a 3. He splashes the tree. 3 of 6 from long range. The Kings open up an 8-point lead. Timeout called here. 5:34 left on the clock. Well, that's explosive. And the Harvey Norman replay. I know Pinder's been very athletic, but it's been the Kings knocking down triples at the other end that has helped them open up an 8-point edge.
And I don't think Valentine believes in making a stock standard pass. So far, he's delivered 3 beautiful ones. We'll continue to see on the Harvey Norman replay all night. But the ball movement, the unselfishness of the Sydney Kings so far this early into the game has been impressive. Even with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, we still saw Alex Tui make an extra pass. Trev used to live and breathe by the old saying, give up a good shot for a great one. We're seeing that right now from the Kings.
5-game winning streak. Jesse Wagstaff spoke about that pre-game.
Look, I mean, I know it's a cliche, but just keep doing what we're doing. You know, Sydney are a very good team, but, you know, this business is pretty fickle. Like, you know, momentum's a funny thing. And we've had, you know, probably 6 good weeks of practice back to back to back, and we've continued that the last 2, so hopefully we can continue the momentum.
Great to have his expertise in the lineup as well, this man who can steady the ship. And I have to admit, I think the jury's still out on the Wildcats coming into this game, because you look at their wins. Brisbane was their last win. Bullets looked all over they were going to win that game. Prior to that, an underman Cairns. Prior to that, an underman New Zealand. Prior to that, Melbourne in overtime when they trailed for the vast majority of the game. And prior to that, they had a 20-point lead against Adelaide and almost coughed that up as well. I'm not convinced that the Wildcats are the real deal just yet, despite the fact they've won 5 in a row.
Well, this is a test for them. When you're playing against a championship team, this is where you're going to go the pecking order, what you have to do to improve. And right now, Sydney have come out and started well.
Kings are the best first quarter team in the competition. They've won 8 out of 11 and getting off to that good start. Well, that's a foundation to build on every time, Damo.
Yeah, I got to speak with Fleur McIntyre, the assistant coach, yesterday, and she didn't even talk about offense. She said, we'll back ourselves to play our fast-paced style at that end, but can we get enough stops? Can we hold them to one shot at the other end? And right now they're doing that. That's why they've been able to build this lead.
They just went to trap the post, got to force the turnover with a bad pass. Nice and early. So again, Sydney going into that post in the half court, trying to get Bryce onto the post, trying to get those inside targets early in the first quarter.
But that's what you'd love seeing out of a timeout as a coach, I'd imagine, Trev, is they executed their offensive set at one end, and then they've obviously made it a key to go and double just maybe one time out of the timeout, and they get the result they wanted.
Scott on top of the key, off the mark. So none of 2 from long range. Let's go to Annalie Maley, who listened in with the Wildcats during the timeout.
You wouldn't believe it, but he wanted them to get on the rebounds. Crazy, right? Wanted them to defend the three-point line except for Hunter, so super help off him, kind of.
10-6, the rebound count in the Kings' favour at the moment. Shot clock into red numbers here for Jalen Adams against Harris, a little too nimble. Got a high percentage play. The tip in from Bolden.
Now, Adams is quick. This is the first time I've seen him live, but he has got that explosive first step, and he's going to put the defense under pressure with that ability.
Look inside, Doolittle gets it done, draws a foul.
Great little slip there. He read that the Sydney Kings defenders didn't come together, so he thought, I'll slip this one and get myself an easy 2.
Coming off 21 points, 9 rebounds in the 3-point win in Brisbane 2 weeks ago when they were down 9 with 5 minutes to play in that game, and Doolittle really dragged them home.
Well, I think Doolittle's the X factor for tonight. I look at players like Bryce and Keanu for the Perth Wildcats, Jalen Adams and DJ Hogue for the Sydney Kings. I think they cancel each other out. They're all superstars of this league, but who's going to be the X factor, that third player on either side? For the Wildcats, I do believe it will be Doolittle, and if he gets the better of his counterpart, then I think the Wildcats take care of business.
Sean Bruce into the game for his first minutes in a 300th NBL appearance, which we'll celebrate a little later. Low percentage play reaching in from behind. Keanu Pinder's going to be called for the foul. His first personal, second team foul on Perth. Kings have 3 fouls so far, and despite the chaotic nature of this game, we've had 1 turnover in 6 minutes of play. Outstanding.
I'm fatigued, and I'm just sitting here calling and watching the game. I think we're going to see quite a few substitutions going into that second quarter, because fatigue will play a factor if they continue to play like this.
This is Galloway. Good to see him back into the lineup and aggressively as well. Here's Jonah Bolden again with the tip in.
Yeah, just using his bulk to get in there front. Prime time real estate on the offensive glass. But again, Sydney going to the post, getting getting Perth on the rotations.
And what can the Wildcats do against that, Trev? How do they deny that?
Well, the ball's coming in a little bit too easy. DJ Hogg was trying to back down and then forcing the rotation. Pass goes out. Jesse Wagstaff has to close out a little bit better. Well, wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of mix-up here from the foul line. They've normally, when Usher comes in, they're in like a 1-2-2 press, putting Usher at the top. He did a great job against United up there, and see if they just have a little bit of a change up here in the defense from the free-throw line.
Doolittle's been getting it done for them at the moment. 6 points, and he adds to that now, and a perfect 5 of 5 from the free-throw line to get the Wildcats back to within 5. So Hogue, the only starter on the floor at the moment for the Sydney Kings. He's got it now. They look for Galloway, baseline, who's bodied up against Saar, knocked down taking the shot. He gets to the free throw line.
You certainly see this, the game plan of Sydney Kings is to attack the basket, use your strength, use your bulk, get to the basket. Again, they got the Bryce on the post coming over to help on the rotations. That's where they're getting caught, Perth Wildcats.
So Galloway to the free throw line. 5 of 10 so far this season. But an emerging player, great talent, as is his brother Kyron in Adelaide. And the Sydney Kings, you have to take your hat off to them. They lost their top 5 scorers from last season. And here they are, second on the ladder, 7 and 4, as Doolittle explores his range. Couldn't get it done, but the ball out of court, last touch by Sydney.
New coach as well.
And a new coach as well.
Replace your key guys, replace your coach, and they're still getting it done, sitting second on the ladder. And we saw the brains trust a little bit earlier, but they're actively involved. Andrew Bogut, Luke Longley in particular when it comes to the personnel. They've recruited really well and retained the core guys who go out there and give absolutely everything. Angus Glover being one of them, Sean Bruce with the ball in his hand the other.
Cotton none of 5 from the field, including none of 2 from long range. Inside the last 3 minutes of an entertaining opening quarter, Bolden from outside peels off the 3. They've hit 4 threes here in the opening quarter and lead by 9.
Spoke about off-season pickups. There's nothing bigger than that one. If you can get the best out of Jonah Bolden from what we saw before he walked away from the game for a little bit, then he might be the biggest pickup across the whole league from the off-season.
I couldn't agree more as Saar elevates and comes up with his first points of the game.
Well, Saar has said something about that, Damo. Not a bad pickup. Maybe a potential #1 NBA draft pick. And he just got the points on the board, changed the shot right there, and he's going to get a dunk right here.
Almost did. Oh, John really thought there was a foul there. Didn't like it at all. Kings get the stop. And now Bolden's ready to go again. He's certainly making a case of being the pickup of the year. Double-figure lead here for the Sydney Kings. John really is furious in front of us. They couldn't get a call on the last play, but I spoke to Jonah Bolden pre-game and said to him, have you surprised yourself how quickly this has come? He said, look, I've got a long way to go, but I have been quite surprised that I've been able to have the influence that I've had so far.
Yeah, and that's confidence straight away. As you can see, just let rip a couple of threes and caught that ball in rhythm. Saar with his hands down, defending that. But look, he's an NBA player, without a question. Went through a hard time there in Philly, had a couple of years off. Now he's getting his life in order and coming back and playing. It's a great stepping stone, you know, and he might be over back in the NBA in a couple of years' time, but he's certainly that level of a talent.
Here's Usher elevating. Can't convert. So the Wildcats 5 of 19, Sydney 10 of 19. It's the difference at the moment. Double-figure lead. Foot violation called, and you're right about Jonah Bolden and the NBA. Had those 2 years there with Philly and the Phoenix Suns. About $4 million worth, I think, at the time. But tech foul on John Riley was called earlier as well. But his highs in the NBA, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks. He's able to compete, and now Doolittle clutching at his right ankle here, and that's not a good sign for the Wildcats.
No, not at all. And had a history of injuries at the start of the season. We hope he's okay and didn't roll down, but certainly got the deflection. Here we have a look here. Yeah, it just steps on Jonah Bolden's foot, slides under, and rolls it out. We certainly hope he's okay. I think he's staying in the court at the moment, which is great news for the Perth Wildcats. They need him and need his work ethic on both ends of the floor.
7 points to lead the Wildcats. Jonah Bolden with 10 leads all scorers coming off the bench in this opening quarter. And Bryce Cotton, after missing his first 5 shots, breaks the drops.
That was just quality. Nice little up fake, step through. Great footwork from the guard. And
well, fans don't like the call. John Riley's going to ask the replay man to check it out, and he's calling timeout. He's going to buy some time, and he is going to challenge this call, which I have to say, in the first quarter,
you better have it. You better get this one right.
You better get it right, because it could be expensive down the track. A snooze timeout called here by John Riley. It's all been happening, and this has been so entertaining, living up to all expectations. And it was a hard act to follow after the thriller in the Queensland Derby a little earlier tonight on the Hungry Jacks NBL. But the reigning champs have come here, and we know there's a healthy dislike between these teams. And this is the replay. We'll take a look at the coach's challenge.
Yeah, credit to the Wildcats assistant coach. He has the most pressure tonight, reviewing these ones and telling JR whether to challenge or not. They should go ahead and win this. I do believe it was last touch by the Kings.
that angle doesn't really show. I think the side on before it maybe came off Galloway's hand and just coming through just there, gave a little bit of a touch, push it forward. So if it is successful, like I said, Damon, it's a tough one to take early in the game, and if you get it wrong, you're done.
Particularly when it has to be decisive and conclusive evidence that the call is wrong. The call could be wrong, but if the video doesn't show it completely clearly that it is wrong, then you can't overturn it. So you can get it right and still lose your challenge.
He pushes the ball there. So hopefully they see the same with the physics. If you push the ball, it goes forward. If you slap the ball, it goes backwards.
Is that Warner Ball education you're trying to convince us of right now? Now, I get accused of only seeing red, so I'm just going to say, no, give the ball to the Sydney Kings just so I can put it out there early.
Sharon.
After review, the coach's challenge is successful. The call on the floor will be overturned. We have a red ball.
Michael Aylen was listening to our commentary while he was awaiting the information to be fed to him. He's right near our commentary position. I'm not convinced he thought we knew what we were talking about.
Well, that's the first time Michael listened to me ever. So after coaching for 14 years, maybe get one time that he listens.
You're on the improve. You're heading in the right direction, Trev. Here's Wagstaff from close range and a good feed inside from Bryce Cotton.
That duo, those two have really brought out the best in each other. You know, you can talk about the losing streak they were on. I want to credit Jesse and Hiram Harris, but Jesse really has brought out the best in Bryce. Let us know what the other is going to do for each other. They go above and beyond, and they've played so many games alongside, had success alongside each other. They just believe that if I get you the ball, you'll do the right thing with it.
Well, so many new players on the roster. You know, it takes Bryce a few times. You got Usher, you got Saar, you got Pinder coming back in. You got Doolittle. So you need some familiarity out there playing on the game so you get synergy working.
Foul going to be called on the Wildcats. Alex Saar here, his second personal, 7th foul on Perth in this quarter. Kings have committed 4.
It is a physical contact, nice and early. Usher went through a screen before and got slapped into 3 or 4 times. I love it defensively out there, but it's those little cheap ones that you can't give away.
Kings have let them off the hook from the free throw line, though. 1 of 5 from the stripe, Sydney, including Hungry Jack's burgers for all of WA, courtesy of Jordan Hunter in the first 2 minutes of the game. And he's still struggling from the free throw line.
Might be 3 Hungry Jacks again. 2 loads.
Came in as a 79% free throw shooter this season, Geordie Hunter, 30 of 38. So it's just 3 in a row. After missing 8 all season, and he still needs to make a correction. The burgers are already available. So again, they've let Perth off the hook. They're 1 of 7 from the free throw line, but lead by 6 here, the Kings. Heading for their 9th first quarter win. Wagstaff gets a good look and punches down the first 3 of the game for Perth. They close to within 3. Bruce, nice pass. Hunter appeared to draw contact from Saar when unwhistled. Tui can't convert. And siren in the background. First quarter concludes here. And Sydney have got the lead, but Perth have grabbed some momentum. We've got a ball game going here. Stay with us on the Hungry Jacks NBL live from Perth. It's the Wildcats trailing Sydney by 3 points. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Welcome back to RAC Arena. Great game here between Sydney and Perth. 26-23, and it's been done largely on three-point shooting. 5 of 10 from long range for the Kings, and we're excited to welcome Mitsubishi Motors back this season, and the fans are celebrating with three-point foam hands and a range of prizes are up for grabs every week, including a brand new Mitsubishi Pajero Sports. Get around that if you can. Right now, the Sydney Kings up 3, led by as many as 10. They've left 1 of 7 from the free throw line. It could have been a whole lot worse for the Wildcats. Here, Damian Martin, Trevor Gleeson joining me in commentary. And the Kings, they'll be happy with this start so far.
It really dropped off when Jalen Adams went to the bench. The Wildcats did make their run. They started moving the ball a little bit better, as they couldn't execute there in the fast break. But Jalen Adams does control that tempo. He knows when to slow it down and get themselves into an offensive set, and when to push it and really apply some pressure on the rim.
Scored the last 7 points of the quarter. The Wildcats to climb back into the equation as Adams works on Webster of the tie variety and pulls up, knocks down the 3.
On point, Damo. He certainly is impressive to watch out there. It's the first time I've looked at him. He has that cool, calm and collective and know what's under the bonnet. He can take that dribble off. Nothing really much happening in offense. He takes it one-on-one.
Bender comes up empty. Shooting woes continue for the Wildcats, not taking their chances. Valentine dishes. Galloway putting it on the deck here. Tui. Back to Valentine. They play such high pace, the Kings. They swing the ball around. Adams works inside Hiram Harris. Shut down. Good effort there from Bryce Cotton. Hiram Harris in support. Has to put it on the deck and hurry out of the points, but Galloway did it illegally. Free throws to come.
There's a bit of a rule in basketball. You have 0.5 of a second to make a decision. Are you shooting, dribbling or passing? For the Kings, I feel like it's more like 0.3. They are so quick with their decision-making, so unselfish. It's fun to watch. At times, I think they probably should back themselves and go off the dribble a little bit more, but right now, they're getting the ball to wherever they want.
They've won 9 out of 12 first quarters now. Annalie Maley was listening in with Mahmoud Abdel Fattah during quarter time. How was the Kings coach?
He was urging his players to stop overthinking and just relax. He said that he was really happy with their shot selection and to just keep pushing it, to be honest, and to keep crashing the O boards. He's noticed that they're kind of killing the Wildcats in that space and wants to keep punishing them there.
7-2, the offensive rebound count. 18-10 overall.
You know, they've won those extra possessions, but the foul line has hurt them, Case. They could have put this game in the double figures and had it that double figures in the first quarter. But now we're back into a 5-point ball game, 2 possession.
Adams looks inside. Valentine with a mismatch on Bryce Cotton. Couldn't get the effective shot away. Webster just a little casual with the ball there. Adams tried to strip him of it, but the ball knocked down out of court. And Perth will get it back.
And see the desperation. It's 2 superstars getting on the floor for that loose ball. That shows you how much desperation's out there. The bang going straight for, finish up being Perth ball, but that's what's on the line tonight.
And that's Christian Doolittle. A smile on his face. He did go down to the change rooms to have some attention on that ankle. Jalen Adams, MVP of 2022. Last year it was Xavier Cooks for the Sydney Kings and Bryce Cotton in 2021. But how about that? 2 of the best in the competition just diving for a loose ball here. Early stages of the second. They want it bad.
And if you're a bench player and you see that and you don't dive on, you can bet you won't be playing next game.
Sets it.
That's
high
where,
bar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Next game, next minute, if it's Steve Gleeson coaching.
Gotta love that from a coaching perspective though, Trev.
Oh, you do. It'll be straight on film clip the next day. If your superstars are ready to put their body on the line and do that for the team, that sets a standard. And both teams will be able to do that now. It's about execution.
Joshua enjoying our coverage here in the Hungry Jacks NBL Friday night. What a busy occasion it's been. Cairns and Brisbane in a thriller. Brisbane getting it done, snapping that 9-game losing. Stricken from close range. Adams gets the finish there and a chance at a 3-point play.
You knew he wanted it the whole possession. It's one of the very few where he hasn't looked to pass the ball on early in the shot clock. Instead, he called for the on-ball screen, wasn't quite set, and he still backed himself to go make a play.
Jalen Adams has got all 5 of Sydney's points here in this second quarter. And he's off to the free throw line. He's 76% this season, 41 of 54. He gets there more than any other player for Sydney, but their woes continue. 1 of 8 from the free throw line.
Got the hips tonight, haven't they?
There's Harris bouncing into Hunter. Continuation's going to be waved away there.
It's going to be Hunter's 3rd foul, so he's going to head to the bench straight away. Got a couple of touch ones. You don't want your 7-footer getting hands fouls. You're rather him near the basket, blocking shots and being that dominant force. Harris just got him, deceived him on the dribble handoff.
It's a nice luxury to have, though, when you bring in Jonah Boulder in, who's been the best player on court so far.
Yep. Here's Webster on the deck. Aggressively as well. Gee, he made them play some D. And Galloway, to me, doesn't look 100% at the moment with all this contact he's had to deal with in this first bit of the game. He's still got the shoulders strapped. You can see him convinced. Hiram Harris is coming down as well. That can be dangerous. And Ty Webster tried to help him, the 2 tall blacks.
Well, slippery forward. You've got to be careful there, especially very humid first day of summer today, Case. And
yep.
Very humid over here in Perth.
To see Doolittle back out there. 7 points for him so far. And the free throw shooting is contagious at the moment. Wildcats 7 of 11. Kings 1 of 8 from the free throw line. As Adams goes again, dominant here in the start of this second quarter. Can't convert there, and a chance for Perth to edge a little closer. Just 3 points for the Wildcats here in almost 3 minutes in this quarter, and Cotton knocks down the bucket.
So we saw him miss the step back a little bit early with Alex Tui guarding him. Bryce backed himself in that he wouldn't make the same mistake a second time.
Here's Bolden with a height advantage over Hiram Harris. Ball dislodged. Here's Galloway, hard to the rim. He draws contact. Well, they challenge you, don't they? They take the ball to the rim and make you play some D.
Well, the Wildcats are trapping the post, and Sydney loved this baseline cut. There's about 3 times there, the baseline cut, and that's a tough call. That was a good, well, he got him on the arm, so they have the baseline cut to get the rotations, and great pass out of that help.
Well, the way they whip the ball around the perimeter, it just means that your eyes are focused on sometimes keeping up with the ball. You forget to keep an eye on where your defender is or where the person is you're defending, and they're sneaking behind that baseline, the guy that's on the split line, sneaking behind and getting those cheap ones.
Galloway to the bench. He's the only Sydney player who's hit his free throws in this game. 4 have tried. He's the only one with success at 3 of 4, but he sits down as Hiram Harris charges up the floor for the Wildcats. Doolittle with Ty Webster. Tick over 3 minutes played in this second quarter. Bryce Cotton against Bolden. Now going to be called on the Sydney Kings. Second personal now for Jonah Bolden.
Well, they are in the foul count, their foul bonus right now, so Bryce is smart enough, looked up straight away, goes straight to the foul line. He's got those perimeter fouls, stopping the speed of the game, and Sydney is switching everything out, so they're getting a lot of mismatches, and that's where that one-on-one comes in, and second opportunities of making that pass. And if you've got Bryce on a mismatch, you back up and let him go to work.
5 team fouls here in just 3 and a bit minutes of this second quarter. Kings are going to have to make an adjustment. And that opens the door for the Wildcats, who are going close to within 3. It's where we started this quarter after Sydney had a 10-point buffer in the opening quarter. Hogue, awkward pass, goes back to Adams, and again he served up an awkward pass for the big man, and they've coughed it up again. Bryce Cotton starting to get busy. Short on the rim from deep. Sydney are going to get this back here. 1 of 5 from long range to Perth Wildcats. Cotton is none of 3. Jalen Adams looking to catch them napping here. Doolittle and Cotton slow to get back. Adams took them on. Went to Alex Tui in traffic. Asked a lot of the youngster there. Doolittle, his pass deflected by Tui. Came to Pinder. Hiram Harris from close range. Adds another 2. It's a 1-point game.
Turnovers, a little bit forced it and get the run outs, getting Sydney in rotations.
This is Valentine pulling up. His three is a little deep. Gets after his own rebound and now marches into the paint and from close range adds the two. He's got 5.
Yeah, I don't think Doolittle's at 100%. We saw him roll his ankle. He was the one that has the missed box out assignment there. Gave up an O ball, which led to 2. He's still not running without pain. Still got a bit of a hobble.
You know, I don't know if I like this matchup. They're putting Doobie on Bryce. Just his speed and his quickness. I understand with the length, but Bryce is going to eat up those shots all night on that one-on-one.
Here he is pulling the trigger. Knocking down another from the Wildcats. Let's storm their way into the lead here for the first time in the game. Timeout called. 5:17 to play in the second. It's 13 points to 9 since the resumption at quarter time on the Harvey Norman replay. And Bryce Cotton with 11 points. Trevor Gleeson, you could see this unfolding.
Well, it's an easy one for Bryce. It's a crossover. Now he gets one in transition. He hit the basket earlier, but you know, Tuvey on the defensive end is going to have that lack of speed. Yes, he has a height advantage, makes Bryce to shoot over a longer hand, but Bryce's eyes are lit up right now, I can tell you. He's going to get the ball in the next couple of possessions, and look out.
Let's go to Damian Martin, who's courtside with the VIP.
I'm here with the greatest centre. I was fortunate enough to call a teammate, but we're no longer teammates. Instead, you're an owner of the Sydney Kings. What's it like being at RAC Arena cheering on your team?
Pretty good. I was expecting more banter from the fans. I haven't really copped it as bad as I thought I would have. So Paul Smith and I had a bet about who's hated more. I'm going with Paul 80 to about me 20%.
Mate, it's not even halftime. That sounds like a challenge to the Red Army. But how is it being an owner? Do you still get out there and try and teach these young fellas some old tricks?
I don't have much left in the tank, but it's been a great game so far. It's been back and forth. Interested to see what adjustments are made at halftime. But yeah, tough place to get wins over here.
You and I were fortunate enough to catch up a couple of weeks ago off the back of a 20-year reunion where we won a gold medal at the World Under-20s. You were named MVP of the tournament. Ignore all of that. The best thing to come out of it was that haircut you had. What do you think when you do see that old photo?
What was I thinking? You know, just I had a bunch of stupid haircuts throughout my career, and that was just another page in the book.
Enjoy the rest of the game. Hopefully cop it from the fans.
Thank you.
Well, the fans are on their feet here trying to lift the Wildcats, and they get a good response there from Ty Webster with a rejection, and now he's off to the races. Wagstaff for the 3. Couldn't finish it off, but look at the hustle from Webster. Spills to Adams. Hogue in support. That's how you finish a play.
This is quick. You've got to be up. It's almost like a tennis match going one end to the other. But Webster was very good defensively, and the Wildcats have forced turnovers. Here he comes up the loose ball. Adams gets it in transition, knows where he wants to put the ball straight away. And DJ Hogue finishes above the rim.
Anneli Maley courtside.
Coach Mahmood said that they were settling a little bit. He actually wants them to look for some more baseline cuts. He noticed that they're doubling in the post now when Bolden catches it. So he's telling his team to keep moving even when it goes inside.
Middle stages of the second, and quite an arm wrestle unfolding here. Trust you're enjoying our coverage around Australia and beyond. The NBL at its best here. The reigning champs, and the Wildcats are on a 5-game winning streak, and the winningest team in NBL history. Between them, these teams have won 7 of the last 10 championships. As Hogue into single coverage against Doolittle, back to Jonah Bolden, who's been the star so far. He's up to 13, including 3 of 3 from long range.
Just a great read by Sean Bruce there. I hope we get to see that on the Harvey Norman replay. Just a smart heads-up play. Jonah Bolden's already hit 2 threes. Saw that his defender was sagging. Goes and sets just a very easy pin-down screen. Wide open look.
And here we go here, just on the post feed, sets a screen, flares out. And listen, after you've hit 2 threes, you've got to make him put the ball on the floor. And that's great execution by Sydney.
Inside the last 4 minutes of the opening half. Kings back on top here by 4 after Perth had taken the lead. Sean Bruce in game 300 celebrates in style with his first score. Well, that's 8 unanswered points down from the Sydney Kings after Perth had taken the lead. The Kings have answered. Alex Saar from outside gets it done.
Just both teams penetrate, kicking out. You see Ty Webster there. Adams on the other end, and now here we go again, that penetration, looking for the kick to the shooters. And again, got to control the ball, got to guard the ball first. Don't allow that penetration, it'll dry up the three-point shooters.
6 of 6 from the field, Jonah Bolden, including 4 of 4 threes. He has turned it on, coming off 10 and 9 in the loss in Melbourne. He had 13 and a career-high 15 boards when these teams played back in round 3. He's unstoppable at the moment. Saar feeds Wagstaff, his 3 off the mark.
Hey, do you think Jonah Bolden knows there's NBA scouts at the game? Just to remind us that, hey, I can still play at this level.
Well, they would have been impressed what they've seen so far. Here's Cotton in traffic against Adams. Good battle between 2 former MVPs. They lob the ball down low. Saar with a mismatch on Glover, gets the 2, draws a foul.
And you can see Bryce Cotton knew he was getting double teamed, stretched the ball to the corner, found the middle cutter, extra pass, finishes, and won. Just smart play by Bryce Cotton there.
Now we've got some scouts in the building. Dennis Mimic from the Miami Heat is here, primarily to see Alex Saar, but didn't hurt that Alex Tui was playing tonight. And likewise, Jonah Bolden, as you say, Trev, he's been there and done that. And what we've seen on the small sample size so far this season, you can certainly still measure up there. But we saw you chatting with Bogues about that championship win, the world title in Greece. Of course, Sean Bruce in his 300th game, his brother Aaron was on that team as well.
The 2 studs out of Victoria as juniors for anyone born in 1984 were Reece Carter and Aaron Bruce. Aaron Bruce represented Australia at the World Cup, but Andrew Bogut was the other Victorian who was born in 84 who went on to have the best career of all. But Aaron was an absolute stud, represented Australia, great career at Baylor University, played in the NBL, but it's his younger brother who was just the little kid that we all had fun with out of there on the court, who's gone on to play 300, and he'll go on to play many more.
Yep. The story is being 2-time championship winner, 4 grand finals. Here he is muscling up against Alex Saar. And from outside Perth, get it done.
And that's just a smart play by Saar. He had a mismatch on the post, didn't force it, waited for the rotation to come and hit Jesse Wagstaff. And that's why he's high on the draft board. He has a very high basketball IQ for someone so young at 18 years old.
Oak coming to the party as well, now up to 7 points in the game. And Sean Bruce goes down, going to be called for the foul here. So more free throws to come. But yeah, you're right, Aaron Bruce, Rookie of the Year in the NBL in 2009. And I'm sure Sean's parents, Steve and Julie, back in Horsham, would be pretty happy with what the young man's achieved here. As I say, he's had to work hard for everything he's got, Sean Bruce, and apart from being a 2-time championship winner, runner-up twice as well, and he just kept on earning his stripes.
Case, he was a development player for the Melbourne Tigers back when I was there in 2011. And then he went straight up to Cairns to be a full-time development player. So just doing the hard work, didn't really get his opportunity, but forced his way in there, was a development player, bit his time, and now he's a championship player, a 2-time championship player.
You talk to any of his teammates, whether it's current or former, and they all speak so highly of him. You hear the old terminology of a locker room guy. They love him. Everyone that's played alongside him called him a teammate. They love him. So do the coaches, so do the owners. He'll be a Sydney King for a long time.
This is Hogue working on Saar. Hands off, Galloway. Down to the baseline, nothing on offer. Valentine open and knocks down the 3.
See, Pinder shouldn't help there. Saar's got that under control. He's going to block the shot. Pinder bit in and helped, gives Valentine an open 3. So that's the discipline that you need on the defensive end. Don't overhelp.
Here's Pinder looking for the answering triple. Can't get it done until Valentine with the rebound. Number 5 for him in that category to go with 8 points. It's on with the dribble. Bruce confronted by Pinder. Glover, now Hogue. Shot clock rolls to single numbers, and we haven't said that too much for the Kings tonight. And Hogue fills off another 3. They've hit 11 threes already in the game. Hit more 3s than 2s.
Well, they've hit more 3s than foul shots. You know that.
Well, the margin out to 8.
Well,
and
Perth aren't doing a
throws.
good job, Case. They're coming off in rhythm of catching that ball. Jonah's hit a couple. He's catching it at rhythm. There's no ball pressure to get up there. And DJ Hogue gets a screen, 2 bounces, and straight into a rhythm shot.
7 in this quarter for DJ Ho. Bryce Cotton has 11 points. That 12, including 9 in this quarter. But none of 4 from deep. Bryce, 4 of 11 from the field, 4 of 5 from the stripe. Been a tough night at the office so far. Timeout called by Sydney. A little over 30 seconds out from half-time. Margin is at 6. Started this quarter at 3. A snooze timeout. Jalen Adams is enjoying the contest at the moment.
Coach, this might be a little bit of quick 2-for-1. So certainly in the NBA's 31 seconds is the cut-off time for some teams. Be interesting to see if he goes for a quick 2-for-1 here, gets the ball, trying to get those extra points.
The thing that's impressed me the most with the Sydney Kings at the offensive end is their spacing. They don't use the three-point line as the dictator of they're going to catch it there. They don't mind going 2-3 meters beyond that. And when you're playing defense and the offensive team is catching the ball so high, you can fall into the mistake of then thinking, oh, I better take two steps closer and guard on this high, but that opens up space. And I think that's been a big reason why the Sydney Kings players have been able to get into the keyway most possessions, because of the spacing and where they're catching the ball and the pickup points the Wildcats are falling into the trap of doing.
Seemed very well drilled for a team that's, as we mentioned, a new coach and many new faces. It's full credit to everyone involved in Sydney that they've been able to make this team so good so quickly.
And I don't think they're only going about 3 spokes out of the full 8-spoke wheel at the moment. And you can see the hell of a great quarter, then a bad quarter, great quarter, bad quarter. We've seen that a couple of weeks ago against Melbourne United and had a really bad 4th quarter. But they certainly have some tools here to challenge for that 3rd premiership in a row, or championship in a row.
Double team Valentine, Tui in the paint, outside Bolden ready to go once more. Oh, this is unconscious. He's hit 5 threes without a miss. 7 of 7 from the field overall, has 19 in the first half. What a display from Jonah Bolden this has been, and here's Pender with a finger roll finish for the 2.
They shot that a bit too early. They're going to give Sydney another look.
Tui off the mark. First half concludes here with the Sydney Kings on top by 7. They've been the more efficient of the 2 teams, despite their woes from the free throw line. 12 threes at 55%, getting it done, Damo.
And Jonah Bolden, you can credit him with most of them. So he has been absolutely brilliant. Jalen Adams had patches, but the unselfishness, the timing, the spacing, they have put on a clinic for about 15 of the 20 minutes and take nothing away from the Wildcats. This is a high-scoring game. It's going to be the team that can get in a stance, contain the dribble penetration, limit the opposition to 1 shot, win the rebound count in the second half, you win the overall.
Well, the man of the moment, Jonah Bolden, is standing by at the moment with Annalie Maley.
You're shooting the lights out so far this half. What's the focus going into the next half, and what are you looking to carry through?
Exact same thing personally. Collectively, I think we just need to knuckle down on D, get out and trans what we're doing, and just keep at it, grind away 0-40.
What's the deal with the free throws at the moment? Is there glad wrap on the rim or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Good luck for the rest of the half.
What a first half it's been from Jonah Bolden, and what a career it's been for Sean Bruce. We celebrate his 300th tonight, and the Kings doing it in style so far.
Bruce, why not? Kicks into Dempsey again, and steps up in a big way. Sean Bruce. Tip back out. Sean Bruce steps into the 3.
Every team has somebody to look up to and someone that can hold the group accountable, and he's definitely that guy, and they respect him because it's not because of the things that he says, it's just the way that he leads, and the best leaders lead by action. And he, like I said, he's probably the hardest, if not one of the hardest workers on the team.
Bruce is clutch. He's just going to be super solid. If the ball lands in his hands, he's not going to be afraid to shoot it.
Can Bruce be the man this time? Oh! You've got to be kidding me! Lightning strikes twice for the Sydney Kings!
We believe in him and the work that he puts in. He's always there in the mornings. He's, leader of the group.
Underneath. Back out for Bruce. It drops.
They all trust him. They believe in him. And we don't get a win without him.
Well, first I went to Serbia. I played with Red Star in Belgrade. Then I went to China. I had a great time. I learned a lot. I was able to pick other good players' brains while I was over there. I was able to see that EuroLeague atmosphere. So, you know, it was a lot of ups and downs.
The Sydney Kings sit on their throne, back-to-back champions.
I was watching my old teammates. You know, Chase was still here. He was really in contact while he was over here. And so was like Brucey and X. So yeah, I really always keeping a close eye on the league. I really started watching it again when the playoffs. So I don't be going to sleep either. So I just, you know, typed it in on YouTube, and next thing you know, I'm up till 5 in the morning watching them win the championship. So it was special.
Gets to the basket. Oh, my goodness, Jalen Adams. What a play.
Just the environment, man, the love that you get shown, just by the community, then the fans, of course, and the front office. Throughout the first half of the season, we wasn't even winning like that, and it still just felt like home. Like everybody still treated you the same. Everybody was just showing support. So, you know, it's like as we started to win, it just started to grow, and it started to feel more and more like home. And the way they treated my family when they came for the playoffs, it's just always gonna have a special place in my heart.
Jalen Adams, superstar, played a couple of years in the NBA as well, and 41 games, 2 seasons there, but really primed to do his best here in Australia. MVP, All-Star 5 as well, championship winner in 2022. And seeing here tonight, Trev, you've been super impressed because it's the first chance you've had a good look at him.
Yeah, look, he's got a turn of speed, he's got strength to get into the lane. Probably had forced a couple of issues there earlier, turned over, it didn't help him, but he has a package there ready to go out, and you can not surprised he's won a championship and he's looking for another one.
Yeah, exactly right. Hungry Jacks highlights here at halftime. Well, they are going to feature a man by the name of Jonah Bolden. This has been some sort of display, Damo.
He's been brilliant both inside and out, but then as soon as he saw that second three in particular go down, you could just tell he wants to live behind the perimeter, and his teammates are doing a great job of looking for him, but also getting him open. We've talked about the Sean Bruce screen, but they know if they get double teamed, someone's open, and they're hoping it's Bolden because he is punishing the defense.
10 so far this season, another 5 in this one, Trev.
Yeah, well, the shooting from the three-point line is unbelievable. That's opened the lanes up for the driving into it. And Jonah hasn't missed a shot. Now, I'm not sure, Damo, how many games that you went not missing a shot. Probably
that's
a couple
when I went
that you
0
didn't.
from 0. Yeah, that's probably when I didn't attempt one. I mean, the colour blind, or that's all green. That's been an incredible 20 minutes.
The Blackmore shot chart, that was as pretty as you can see. Bryce Cotton's been turning it on for the Perth Wildcats in recent games, and he had to lift the tempo here as well. Just 3 in the opening quarter, but he had 10 in that second, and he's looking ominous.
Yeah, just that mismatch there with the bigger players. He's going to use his quickness to give up the long two. Hasn't got the 3-ball going just yet, but he's just starting to get that rhythm against that mismatches and the switching defenses.
There's the Blackmore's shot chart for Bryce Cotton as well. And he'd like to see them start dropping from deep. They're 3 of 11 as a team, the Perth Wildcats, just 27%. And as I mentioned, the Kings have hit more 3s than 2s and free throws, where they are 3 of 10 at the moment. So the Kings have got this on their terms at the moment. 57-50 it is at halftime, a 7-point lead. And we're coming back to RAC Arena in Perth for the second half. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks at NBL Friday Night Hoops. Great to have your company here on a Friday night. We at RAC Arena in Perth, and some celebrities in the house. Two great entertainers. Adam Gilchrist, fastest ever Test century for Australia. When he got going, there was always fireworks. And the owner of the Wildcats there, Craig Hutchison, as well, does a good job with his radio work and the podcast that he's working on as well. But Jesse Wagstaff, this is the glue player that every team needs. Game number 456 tonight. And when they needed a scoring punch, well, he was the one knocking down the threes or doing something in the defensive end, just getting himself about, helping everyone.
Yeah, and that's the value that Jesse brings to the table. It's his leadership, his locker room voice. And on the court, the first quarter wasn't going that well for the Wildcats. Put the second unit in, Jesse just calms the farm down, hits a couple of threes. He certainly had an impact of getting the Wildcats back in contention.
Set to go in the second half. Both teams return to their starting fives, which means Jordan Hunter starts the second half with those 3 fouls, which restricted him to just 8 minutes in the first half. Here's Doolittle. Seems to have shaken off that ankle problem he sustained in the first quarter. Overcooked the shot there. Hunter grabs the rebound.
Should have taken that first one on the drop pass, taken up strong, but again, that ankle might be the problem, that he can't explode and dunk on that help.
Jalen Adams in traffic, drawing a hands foul.
Trev, if you had a player drop 19 in the first half, would you have started them in the second, or do you go back to who your 5 are?
Given that he started last game as well.
I think he's doing okay. Yeah, he come off the bench. He's been the X factor of the game. You don't think you're going to lose it in the second half, but certainly if he's got it going in the third quarter, I'm running with him until he wants a sub out of there.
Hunter uses 2. I thought he travelled, and so did Christian Doolittle. When whistled, he came up empty nonetheless. And a chance for Bryce Cotton and the Perth Wildcats to edge a little closer. Both teams in front in each of the 2 quarters completed so far. Pinder looks for Webster, got away from his defensive assignment, gets the bucket.
Yeah, just on 2, a bad decision on that one, forcing the ball, but he's really got that defense assignment on Bryce. He's up there denying his touches. He's really getting that in Ho, mate. He has that ability. He kind of sleeps from the second quarter. He had a great first quarter, but he has the ability to turn that on at any moment.
To the foul called on Keanu Pinder. Second personal for him. And Hogue to the free throw line, where he's none of 1, and the Kings are 3 of 10 from the free throw line. Coming into this game, the Kings were shooting about 74% from the free throw line, but they've got problems in this one.
And that was a brick. Yeah. That was the front of the rim.
Cotton takes them on, shuts down this TJ Hogue at the defensive end.
Well, they couldn't make the foul shot, but made it up on the block shot to the rim. So Sydney have changed just a little bit more. They're denying Bryce every touch of the ball, so they're going to look for the counters and see what Perth has as the counters.
Webster, no room to breathe even. They find Doolittle baseline wide open. It's off the mark. He's none of 2 from deep. Perth 3 of 12 from long range. Adams, the pass cut out by Doolittle. Harris in support. Cotton joining in. 3-on-1 fast break. They get it to the right man.
Straight back the other way, though, for an alley-oop done.
Yeah. And Valentine got the ball in so quick, gave the 2 up, got it out, quick inbound pass, and that's bad transition from the Perth Wildcats.
Pinder's pass inside, deflected by Geordie Hunter, out of court. They scramble so well, the Kings. They play up tempo, but they work hard to get back at the defensive end as well.
It's a high-skilled game as well. I look at it now, and there's only 11 turnovers total between both teams. Right now, the Sydney Kings have 8 of those. The Wildcats taking care of the ball with only 3. But when you play this fast-paced, you usually give up a couple of sloppy turnovers. It's not the case right now.
Pinder muscles up against his former Cairns teammate DJ Hogue and adds to his tally. 8 in the game now for Pinder.
And it's physical underneath there. There's nothing given away by both teams. There's a lot on this game, just bragging rights heading out to later in the year. And these guys are actually playing hard as possible. I love it.
Great defensive stance from the Wildcats. Adams came up empty. This is Cotton working on Tui, who fouled him, just went back for a second bite. And as Bryce Cotton does so many times, he's able to draw contact and is off to the free throw line for a triple.
You're yelling at me from halfway across the floor.
You're going to challenge this one.
If it's on the high side, I'm not going to guess it on the baseline. Down here. Yeah, that foul's on the high side on your right arm, you told me. I can. But I'm not yelling at you. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not yelling at you. It's good.
Plenty happening here. 2.5 minutes played in this third quarter. Back to a 5-point buffer, and there's going to be a big celebration here in Perth come February when Damian Martin is rightfully raised to the rafters. This is how it unfolded when the news broke.
On February 4th, they're actually going to retire another jersey of the Perth Wildcats, number 53, if you know who wore that jersey a few years ago. Damian Martin, congratulations. You're going to have your jersey retired. It's been an honor to be your teammate, and you know, I'm proud to be able to be here today and honor you with your jersey retirement. It's really...
What a great moment there to have Sean Redditch as well. You were just thrilled that Sean had come past and didn't even know this was unfolding.
I knew we had him on radio that day to interview him, and when he showed up to the studio, I thought, oh, good on you, Sean, going above and beyond to make sure he made it in. But it couldn't have been told to me by a better person. I learned so much from Sean as a teammate and just the way he conducted himself to make sure that by the time he retired, he got the utmost out of his natural ability. And then we see the 42 up there, and it's going to be an absolute honour and privilege to have the 53 right there beside him. But I had no idea. And then my wife and 3 daughters, they walked into the studio immediately afterwards. So very, very special to have all those loved ones involved. And then very fitting that they're retiring on the 4th of February, which is my mum's birthday, and the amount of sacrifices mum and dad made in order for me to be able to pursue the sport I loved. It's just so timely that the 4th of Feb will be that day. Just makes it even more meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, Damo. And I'm very congratulations, Perth Wildcats, coming out early and putting the retirement straight away, not waiting for Damo to get too fat that the jersey has to fit that far across. So
I think they've seen me lately and realised I'm not making a comeback. I'm safe and in retirement. But it was a brilliant moment. As they are reviewing this, I think they've caught on the right arm, not for stepping under him.
I think there was a little bit of both on the chest on the way up. He got hit, but there's a little bit of confusion in the timeout if there was a challenge or not. I think there's 1 hit, maybe 2 hits. And interesting here that in the NBL, if you get hit before you land, it's still a foul. In the NBA, if the ball is released, you're allowed to hit the hand, which is a little bit different for the FIBA rules, especially the NBL rules. But we see here, and that's it, you've got to challenge. If you're going to challenge, you've got to challenge right hand to right hand, so you're on the side, not going into the body, going through and out. And that's something that the NBA is pretty big on. You challenge on the right-hand side, trying to look for the block.
After review, the coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor is confirmed. The defender takes the landing spot of the shooter. 3 shots.
Well, Mahmoud Abdel Fattah not happy with this, because initially he told the bench he wanted to challenge, not the coach. Not the referees.
It's incorrect, Mark. Very close, Hannah. Has confirmed the call is correct. You said he pushed it. Not good. This is the correct call.
Well, technically speaking there, he does have a point in the sense that if it was a pushing foul, was there a push there, or did he just take away his landing?
I don't like it at all. And that happened the other night at United. It's a foul. Foul's a foul. And if the umpire says a foul and it was a push and it was a hands foul, you know, send Delhi to the line. It was a foul. You know, if the umpire's got the heat of the moment, they don't know. But you've got to get the right decision, not a technicality.
Where's Cotton getting to work once more, knocking down the 3 to get us back on level terms.
And that was a big possession. That's a 5-point possession, Case. Make 2 foul shots, miss the last one. You do that at home, on the backyard, trying to get the score up.
11-4 run in the first 2 and a bit minutes of this quarter has the Perth Wildcats fans getting excited as Hogue asks them just to remain a little more quiet.
Massive play. That's one way to quieten the crowd just a little bit and try and take the Red Army out of it. DJ Hogue has made big play after big play when it matters. But Bryce Cotton, when he starts talking to the Red Army, you know he's feeling pretty good about himself.
Is Hiram Harris muscling his way in close, coming up empty. Denzel Valentine grabs the rebound. Chance for the Kings here. And they go to the danger man. This time Bolden's off the mark. Ty Webster, Euro stepping his way up the floor and finishing with the goods.
Nice crossover and speed off the rim. Transition, you guys, this is a quick game. If you're not running in transition, getting back, you're certainly watching the game.
So Jalen Adams, shot clock to 5. Guarded by Doolittle. The step back, tough shot. Can't convert. Loose ball getting after it. Cotton. Now, he's got no teammates ahead of him, but he's got Bolden turning his back. Couldn't finish it. And Harris getting into the back of Jalen Adams there is going to be called for the foul. 4th team foul on Perth in this quarter.
That would have blown the roof off here at RAC Arena had BC hit that pull-up 3. But defensively, the Wildcats aren't getting dragged out as much. They're trying to clog up the keyway just a little bit more to take away the strength of that dribble penetration.
Well, Titanic struggle. He suggested at the top of the game that this was going to be some sort of spectacular show when the two heavyweights collide, and Bolden's knocked down 6 of 7 from deep.
Now that's just bad. He's hit 5 out of 5 and gets an uncontested 3. It's got to be able to adjust the game and make him put the ball on the floor. But again, transition has really hurt the Cindy Kings at the moment.
This time Pinder gets out quickly and Bolden steps inside him and throws it down and gives him some advice. How about this from Jonah Bolden?
That's a great move. Hard closeout, Pinder takes him on the drive and finishes. Good, got the jab, 2 dribbles, no weak side help. Gets hit and finishes, and got the stare down after, Case. This is a great move.
I love the way Jonah Bolden goes about it. That's the mannerisms as well, the licking of the fingers. So much Bruce Bolden about him. Shout out to Big Buffy. He was such a superstar in the competition as well.
Yes, he was.
I can't believe he's been out of the game. This is as good a display as I've seen by any player so far this season.
9-4 run from the Kings after Perth at drawn back level. Saar drawing Hogue out of the paint, and now Cotton feeds back to the big man. Bolden got a deflection there, but it steers to Usher, who comes up with his first points in the game.
Saar's got to continue that roll and finish that with a dunk. He was waiting for the ball. Bryce will find him. Got to find that ball. A little bit of a change-up defense.
Jalen Adams got it from Hogue. They've been good from deep tonight, the Kings, and they've hit 15 threes in the game to 4 from Perth. Well, they seem to have all the answers here at the moment. Inside the last 5 minutes of a third quarter. This time Wagstaff off the mark. Galloway gets after the loose ball. Doolittle deflected it, keeps it alive. Usher works inside Bruce, drew the attention. This time Saar heard the conversation from Trevor Gleeson and throws it down.
And that's what he's got to do. Get that strength, finish in the N1. Great effort by Doolittle. You talk about X factors, just those little extra plays. Gets a deflection. He stays in the contest here. Gets a deflection, finish up being a steal, find the open man, get him on rotation and finish strong at the basket. Great execution.
9 points, 5 rebounds, season averages for Alex Saar. Top 10 in the competition in block shots and 9 threes at 30% in 19 minutes. Here's Adams exploring once more. They stood off him and helps himself to 2. So 13 now for Jalen Adams.
There's not much defense getting played out here, but it's certainly a fun pace game.
This time Cotton fired. Oh, did a lap of honour and jumped out. A little over 4 minutes out from three-quarter time. Kings have led for the vast majority of the game. Perth keep coming. Here's Adams once more firing, this time unsuccessfully. Saar the rebound. So now Bryce Cotton, inside 4 minutes left in the third. Usher, the mismatch against Adams in terms of high to Lex to share it with Cotton. Taken on Bruce. Now cutting across, wraparound pass was pretty to watch, and Saar with the finishing touches.
Great pass. Great execution down the end. Going to get some rotations in here, getting some tight bodies. Just the speed of this game. Again, straight down. Now this second half of the game, how big's your stamina? How much have you done in the off-season and pre-season? This shows out right now.
Oh, it's been a wicked tempo, and speaking of wicked, how about Bryce Cotton turning it on? 24 now for the Maestro.
Regardless of who you're going for, if you're not enjoying this game of basketball, you need to follow a different sport. This is incredible viewing.
Back to 1 point the difference. Cotton has come up now with 11 points in this quarter out of the 24 that Perth have mustered. And a foul called on Doolittle, going to be his third personal. Harvey Norman replay, worth looking at the pass once more.
And that's what I'm talking about, Casey. Keep rolling. Bryce will find you. Don't stop and watch. Sometimes the big guys will set a screen, stop and watch. Keep rolling all the way to the rim, and he'll find you. That time, keeps the ball for the step back on the switch.
And Bryce Cotton, 24 points, 5 assists, but he's 1 of 7 from long range. Jalen Adams to the stripe, where he's none of 1 so far in the game. But Adams now 14.7 assists, 5 rebounds. Dueling MVPs has been a great factor in this game. Both have been so influential. Adams sits down and Valentine checks back in. They just keep bringing in studs.
They just did a good rotation, finished the last 2-3 minutes at a 1-possession game.
Wagstaff for Usher, baseline. Corralled, so feeds Doolittle. Shot clock rolls to 7. He pulls the trigger. It's off the mark. Hit just 4 threes in the game, Perth. Cotton 1 of 7 from long range against Glover. Decides to go solo. That's off the mark. Another O-board to keep it alive. Usher, he wants to get into the three-point shooting. That's off the mark once more. And a foul called on the Sydney Kings here.
And that's one thing Perth haven't done as much, is crashing the offensive glass. They got 3 possessions in the last play here, but they certainly haven't done a great job. And now Sydney Kings understand that, getting Bolden a quick rest, and they're bringing Hunter back in there to try to control that defensive rebounds a little bit more.
Usher muscles up, adds another 2. 1 point ball game, a little over 2 minutes out from three-quarter time. Geordie Hunter getting some treatment from Wagstaff. Now Valentine for Glover. He pulls the trigger on a 3, off the mark. Still looking for his first score in the game, and a chance here for the Wildcats to retake the lead. Inside the final 2 minutes of the third, Doolittle wants to take on Bruce, muscles his way into close range, but can't convert. A poor pass, picked off. Sarr awake to it, does put Perth in front.
Big play by Alex Sarr. Stayed there, got the deflection, finishes at the rim from really poor position, poor shot from Doolittle.
11 turnovers for Sydney now, only 3 for Perth. It's been a factor in the game. Both teams in front in each of the 3 quarters so far. Valentine from deep knocks down the 3.
And that was deep.
16 threes in the game for Sydney and 13 inside the line. Sarr's pass just deflected off the shoe. 1:07 left on the clock here in the third.
That's twice the Sydney Kings have turned it over, trying to come out of the backcourt after getting a stop. That could come back to hurt them. That and the free throws. Take care of business with the ball, knock down some free throws at the other end, and they should have a double-digit margin. Instead, they've only up by 2.
And the NBA scouts in their house can only be impressed on this type of quality. 2-point lead for the Kings. We started this quarter with Sydney on top by 7. We're inside the last 60 seconds. Here's Bryce Cotton knocking down the 3. Five of 20 from long range. It's been slim pickings, but they're in front. Denzel Valentine, so efficient, adds to his tally now with 13 on 5 of 8 shooting. Cotton down by 2. He did a good job then. Now Alex Sarr from the outside wouldn't work. Glover, Valentine. Talk about going quickly. Here's Galloway joining in. That drew the attention. Tui works baseline, draws a foul on Cotton. Free throws to come.
Yeah, don't have to worry about the shot clock running out today, Case. It's a fast-paced game of bang, bang, bang. And Sydney did a great job making this extra pass. Transition. Tui takes the ball strong and gets the hard foul and making him earn 2 from the foul line.
Isn't it a good shooting night, Tui? 1 of 7. And he's been harassing Bryce Cotton all night. Sometimes that can take away from your offensive energy. And messing with the free throw shooting as well. But he's got friends. They're 6 of 15 at 40%. Perth 16 of 22.
It's certainly a tough assignment if you're matching up with Bryce Cotton. Tui's done a really good job to use his length and probably had a couple of forced shots late in the shot clock. Now they go on the trap this last possession, trying to get the ball out of Bryce Cotton's hands. I like this from the coach. Force somebody else to shoot the ball. Don't just play half court in this one possession. 12.6 seconds to go again. Most likely come here and trap. Maybe with 8 seconds to go.
Cotton against Galloway. Well, lost the handle, has to go back and retrieve it. It was all part of the grand plan.
Just how he drew it up.
On the buzzer, Bryce Cotton knocks down the 2. We are tied away at 83 and Bryce Cotton's got 29. Oh, it's all happening in Perth. Stay with us. Here, it's Friday Night Hoops in the NBL. It doesn't get better than this. Welcome back to RAC Arena. What a night it has been. And Alex Sarr getting better the longer this game goes. 15 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Had 7 points in that quarter. And it was a nice 1-2 punch with Bryce Cotton because Cotton had 29 at the moment. 16 there in the third. But Sarr with 15 points, 5 rebounds, a couple of steals. He can do it all. Perth's highest scoring third quarter of the year. 33. They outscore the Kings by 7, and we're on level terms to start the 4.
Yeah, he was a big reason why the Wildcats got back into this game defensively. A couple of steals, finished with 8 points, and there again he gets got the call for the foul. And Adams used to be able to get into his body, which changed the angle. Certainly changed some shots down on the defensive end here.
Good work from Adams. Let's go to Annalie Maley, who was listening in with the Kings at 3-quarter time.
Coach coach opened that huddle there with, "Can we make any more stupid mistakes?" Really urging his team to take care of the ball. He said, "We can always win the game on offense, but let's try and get some defensive stops." He said, "I don't want to have to rely on how good we are on offense. Let's get some stops on D."
Well, they had 5 turnovers that quarter, and really in the backcourt, as we mentioned earlier in the game, a couple of turnovers in the backcourt cost them points straight up on the board. So this is going to be a crack at this last quarter, Case. I can't wait to see these guys step up. And
Saar up high there, created a contest against Hogue, who had better position. Now Cotton reaching in and dislodged the ball from Jalen Adams, but did it illegally and has picked up the foul, his second personal. And you mentioned the turnover, 5 for the Kings in that third quarter, Trev. To put that into context, Perth has got 3 turnovers for the entire game.
Well, they forced 5 turnovers and they out-rebounded Sydney by 4 rebounds. So we spoke about the possession game. Give that one to the Wildcats, but as I say that, the Sydney Kings still have the lead. And credit to them, they have not got caught up in the emotion of the game. They have not let the Red Army get under the skin. They seem to make big plays to make sure that a 4-0 run stays exactly that. It's only 4. The Wildcats haven't been able to put together 10 or 12-point runs.
Minute played in the final quarter. Kings by 3, and a turnover there as Usher steps out of court. Just the 4th turnover in the game for the Perth Wildcats.
And that was a good execution. Sydney Kings got the flare screen on the switch. Tui straight to the basket. Going to run it again. Going to look for that mismatch on Bryce. No.
Jalen Adams again forces the issue and draws a foul, this time on Hiram Harris.
And that's 3 quick ones as well. That could really come back to haunt the Wildcats. If they get into the bonus early, the Sydney Kings will just keep applying that pressure, both in offensive transition and getting in the keyway, and force the referees to make some decisions.
And that's smart play by Adams. You know, one at the basket, he had a shot blocker, got underneath. Another one there, big putting pressure on him. Just getting those extra fouls nice and early.
Galloway working inside against the shorter Ty Webster, who picks up the foul. Free throws to come. 3rd personal for Ty Webster. 4th team foul on the Wildcats here inside 90 seconds of this quarter.
Yeah, that's going to be a factor without a question. The old penetration and kick and out. So Sydney Kings are going for this very hard, driving to the basket. First couldn't stop, and then Webster picks up the next foul.
To give the Perth Wildcats fans watching our coverage some hope, Wildcats are the best last quarter team in the competition. They've won 8 out of 12 this season. They finished strongly. And while they've given up those 4 fouls so far, the question is, can the Kings make free throws when they get there? 10 of 20 in the game.
Well, there should be no excuses with the fitness level. They had last week off. Both got single games right now. There's no factor coming in, fatigue.
Cotton is fouled this time by DJ Hogue and is going to the free throw line again.
I'm telling you, close the shooter out, right hand up on the right hand side. So you take this out. As you can see, Hogue coming in, comes up straight into the body, and that's a foul every day of the week.
So you're saying run past him on the right-hand side with your right hand challenging his?
Correct, right hand to right hand. You take the body contact out, especially with Bryce that jumps forward. You go on the side and you're still challenging the shot.
When he's that wide open, you're actually trying to run by him, so he has to take 1 dribble and then shoot a long 2. You'd rather him have an open long 2 than a half-contested 3, or in this case, a fouled 3.
He's 2 of 10 from long range, Bryce Cotton. He's 10 of 12 from the free throw line.
And the hot man comes back in, Bolden. Certainly the closeouts have got to be strong this quarter. He actually has missed 1 shot, Case. He's only shooting 90% from the field.
And it was an air ball. Here's Jalen Adams. Dancing in front of them, feeds Hunter, who works on Cotton. Now it's Adams, pass Pinder, tried to draw a foul, couldn't get it, but he gets the job done nonetheless. 18 in the game, 6 of 12 from the field, Adams. Here's Harris putting it on the deck, caught Hunter a little out of position. Ty Webster thought he was fouled, kept alive by Pinder. Now Adams got Cotton to beat, needs help. Bolden provides it high off the glass, couldn't convert, loose ball. Tui gets after it. Harris almost into his back. Ty Webster launching himself on top of it. So a foul's going to be called here on Ty Webster, I believe. And that is 5 in the quarter. Free throws coming for the Kings.
And that's Webster's 4th as well. So now John really has to make a decision whether he lets him stay out there and risk that 5th foul and go into the bench for the remainder of the game. We'll give him a couple of minutes now and bring him back later.
I think Hiram fouled him first.
He did.
And he missed that. Now coming back unlucky for the second one.
Alex Tui struggled from the free throw line in this game. He's 22 of 32 at 69% coming in. 1 of 3 so far. He's an exciting 19-year-old. Made his debut for the Boomers as a 16-year-old. Turned his back on a college career to play in the NBL, and he is making giant strides.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with him, Case, and that's... You've got to give Bryce that easy look coming off a screen. There's got to be a high switch that you take his direction off the ball, but that's a layup.
35 now for Cotton. Season high of 37 against New Zealand back in round 7 in Sun Tower. But what a show this has been from Jonah Bolden. He's got 28 on 7 of 8 threes.
Yeah, unbelievable. You close him out and make him put the ball on the floor, but Jonah, if they're not going to guard you, keep shooting it. Don't worry, take a step back, make it an NBA. As soon as you touch the ball, shoot it.
Keanu Pinder just coming off a little second best there as well. 4-point lead for the Sydney Kings. The biggest margin we've seen at any stage was the Kings on top by 10 in the first quarter. Both teams in front in each of the 3 completed quarters, and Bryce Cotton is looking ominous. He steps past them. Oh, what a play! Defensive highlight from Geordie Hunter. Slaps it away from the cylinder. Valentine gets after the short arm 3, and the Kings get it back. Ho working on Doolittle. Hunter wants Sean Bruce. Red numbers on the shot clock. In game 300, this time a little deep. Doolittle grabs the board. He's got 4 of those to go with 7 points. Wagstaff's 3 is short. Valentine, outlet pass. Hunter swat away. Took it too easy, and Pinder closed him down. Cotton at the other end draws a foul on Hogan. He's off to the free throw line as we go to Annalie Maley.
Now that Wagstaff has checked in, he's coaching on the floor, but he was coaching from the sidelines in the last couple of plays, giving tips to players as they're running past.
And it's these little things, hustle back on defense, getting the block shot, wins these games more times than not, winning those extra possessions, putting your body on the line. A great hustle. It was Pinder's fault on defensive transition. When Jesse shot the ball, he should have been back. Got caught watching, but made it up with an exciting and athletic block shot.
Well, it could be a 4-point swing here as well. It should have been a dunk down one end. BC goes down the other. He might knock down 2, and this could all add up.
Great to see on the Harvey Norman replay. And a reminder, you can unlock the ultimate fan experience this season. It's all free through NBL Plus. It powers up your NBL experience. You get in-depth stats, classic moments, partner offers, and much, much more. Sign up for NBL Plus. It's free via the NBL app or NBL.com.au.
You're right, Damo. What's Hunter, 7 foot? He should be finger rolling it. He should be jamming that thing home.
Shot clock to 10 for the Kings. Less than 6 minutes left in the game. Adams takes them on, and he's off to the free throw line once more.
He was unlucky not to make it an N1. As soon as he seen that mismatch with Jesse Wagstaff guarding him, he said, oh, which way am I going to go? And tried to get that N1, get the body contact, and the shot just popped out. But he's a smart player. He's a very, very smart player, a cunning player, takes the advantage of the mismatch, and why he's an MVP.
Yep. Like 22 season when he steered Sydney to the championship. He averaged 20 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, shot 40% from deep.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't stop him. He's going to get you one way or another.
Well, he's just lucky the guy next to him was retired when he came in here. So I'd love to see that matchup. Damo had some scalps with Casper Ware, you name it.
Well,
Bryce Cotton at training, I heard, although Bryce did dispute that, and it may have been the dodgy ankle that he got off the chain once, or no, was it once or twice he got?
Let him get off once, and I can't remember the second time he keeps claiming. No, what is it? The longer you're retired, the better you were. Let's go with that, but I think Jalen Adams would have broke my ankles.
Well, I think you stole the ball off Kevin Durant in London at the Olympics. I remember that as well.
My wife actually went on Twitter and tweeted at him, "Hey, Kevin Durant, haha, my husband has stole the ball off you." The worst attempt at trash talk I've ever heard.
Gee, that's a controlled finish there from Pinder as well.
Really nice. Back down the post, use position, footwork here, drop step, comes around. No, it was a forward pivot around using that left hand off the glass. And Case, just on that, like I seen them both practice, I had to separate them. Monday, Tuesday, they can practice against each other. No, Thursday, Friday, teammates.
Yeah.
They were that competitive.
We're tied away here. 5.5 left on the clock. What a night it's been in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Brisbane winning a thriller in Cairns. Jalen Adams turning it on here for the Kings at the moment, but they've still got work to do. Bruce can't convert, and a chance for the Wildcats to take the lead. Cotton, 37 at the moment, looking for a season high. He's off the front of the rim, gets it back from Pinder. They can't contain him at the moment. Webster left open, reluctant to fire the three. This is his first in the game. Can't finish it. Wagstaff, the offensive rebound is fouled by Adams. First personal for Jalen Adams. Free throws for Wagstaff.
And those winning those extra possessions, big time. Jesse using his veteran, just getting to the right position. Again, this is the last 5 minutes. This is where you want your superstars stepping up. Adams is going to get the ball in his hands. Here we go. We get DJ comes back in. Tui comes back in.
Here we go.
Strap in for this last 5 minutes, Case. This is going to be a barn burner.
Wagstaff 1 of 2 from the free throw line so far. 7 of 8 on the season at 88%. Hode comes back into the game here, playing with 4 fouls as well.
You'd hope the Wildcats are smart enough to recognise that as well and run a play for some type of isolation, to take him into the post, whatever it may be, to make him make a decision whether he's going to play aggressively at the defensive end or possibly give up an easy one.
Well, what a contest this has been as Valentine fires. Didn't get it, but tapped it. Kept it alive with his own rebound. Now, quick outlet pass for Pinder in a mismatch against Jalen Adams. The Wildcats have got their biggest lead of the game with 4.5 to play.
Great outlet pass. Pinder leaking out on the glass.
Here's Adams, baseline. Pulls up for the Che. Can't convert. Whistle on the play. Well, he's called the foul on Ty Webster, and he's out of the game. He fouls out of the game, Ty Webster, and the fans are not happy.
Replay center, we have a coach's challenge. The call on the floor is a hold by red 0, hold behind the back.
Well, that's the call. You could see the replay there. Challenge here by John Riley, who used his coach's challenge in the first quarter and got it right.
He doesn't need to hold. He doesn't need to put his hand around there. That's just bad technique. Number one, he had front position. Use your ass, stick it into his leg so he can't jump, and then control the ball.
Gluteus maximus. Thanks, Trev.
Oh.
Thanks for Mournable.
Yeah.
They call it different down there.
Nice, clean English. So unless the angle shows it on the other side, you need a camera.
After review, the coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor is confirmed. We'll return with 2 shots to White.
Pretty straightforward.
So big consequences there, Case.
Yeah. Ty Webster fouls out for the 3rd time this season, and in both games against Sydney that he's played.
So this is a big decision for John Riley. Who's he put in his case? Does he bring Alex Sarr back in? It has won games down the stretch with the pick and pop with Bryce. Does he bring another guard back in? He's bringing Usher back in, which is kind of surprising that he hasn't done that much during the game. He's a hustler. He's going to get offensive rebounds. He's a defender. You know, he's come out stated that he wants to be defensive player of the year. I haven't seen that in him this year. The talk is cheap. You've got to be able to back it up.
Like 5 weeks about coming out of timeout.
Putting Usher in probably tells you more about the fact that JR wants to leave Jesse Wagstaff out there. He wants to keep Wagstaff and Pinder together, but he can't throw Saar in there as well. But they've already got Doolittle, so they're big enough. But such is the case, he wants his old vet there, that he's going to leave the superstar youngster on the bench.
Well, they've suited 13 here tonight, the Wildcats, and they've only used 8. 5 haven't played at all, and he's going with Usher.
And that was a long walk. I'm telling you, he's coming to that timeout, missed the last couple of foul shots, Tui straight to the line and knocked it down.
You're thrilled, aren't you?
Well done, young fella.
Yep. Speaks to the pedigree, and that's why we're so high on what he can do as a 19-year-old. This is the back end there. So Perth by 3, a little over 4 minutes out from a decision. Wildcats over the limit in terms of fouls, and the next one will put Sydney over the limit as well. And that is the foul there. Free throws to come. Valentine picks up his 4th personal. So both teams in the bonus now. Oh, this has been a heavyweight contest. A great atmosphere here at RAC Arena. Terrific to be courtside for it. And a game that certainly has a playoff feel about it. Here we are, it's only the 1st of December. So the summer of hoops on day 1 of summer. It has been outstanding. What a start.
I think when both teams review what they were doing at the offensive end, there's going to be more pats on the back than say we should have done something else. The way the players are cutting, it's making the defense make a decision. Keanu Pinder, he could have just trotted on into the keyway, started to set up for a post-up. Instead, with the way he cut at full speed, it meant that he was always going to draw a foul or get a layup. They're not taking shortcuts at all. You cannot criticise either team when they've got the ball for taking any type of shortcuts on screens, cutting through the lanes, or making the extra pass.
18-13 in this last quarter for the Wildcats. We mentioned they're the best closers in the competition. Kings need a bucket. DJ Ho provides it.
Alex Tui, that's a hell of a read. You draw 2, you kick it back to the hot guy. 19 years of age, I love him.
Very smart play. He's got long arms.
Wagstaff got it from Cotton, who created the space, and Wagstaff puts the finishing touches on.
38 years of age, I love him.
Wildcats' highest score of the season. They lead by 5, still with more than 3 minutes on the clock. Ho in a mismatch against Cotton. Takes him on, gets down low, and Wagstaff now the defensive end. 14 points, 4 boards for Jesse Wagstaff in an excellent cameo. Cotton's up to 39. Kings have had enough. Well, they're on the ropes and they are swaying. The fans are baying. And it's the Wildcats 106-99 with 3:07 to play. Wowee!
And that's what you want. The best players coming to the top.
But just when you thought this couldn't get any better. How about this?
Chance of MVP raining out across RAC Arena for Bryce Cotton.
Oh, not Jesse.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood.
Welcome back to RAC Arena. Bryce Cotton is doing it all. 39 now, a season high for him. And he's had 10 of those in the last quarter. He had 16 in the third. This has been quite incredible.
Cream rises to the top, Case.
Here's Jalen Adams. Reaching in, Pinder got a deflection and wins it back for Perth. Let's go to Annalie Maley, who was listening in with the Wildcats huddle.
The only message was on defense not to overhelp on the penetration, to not give them open threes. Stay with your own, he said.
Wagstaff kicks the ball. Doolittle. Shot clock to single numbers now. It's Usher firing. Looped out and came back at him, and Ho grabbed the rebound. Ho, they eventually get it over the halfway line. Tui in the corner with a massive triple.
Big, big bucket. Almost 8 seconds in the backcourt. Pinder's gone for the steal, and they get caught on rotation. And Tui, no bigger shot than that right now.
Pinder shares it with Usher. Shot clock works to red numbers now. They go back to Bryce Cotton. Kicks Wagstaff. Reluctant to fire. Must pull the trigger. Can't convert. Doolittle. He pushed Bruce out of the way. Grabbed the O-board and adds another 2. Here's Adams working inside Cotton. There was contact, no whistle. Sean Bruce off the mark. Valentine, the O-board to keep it alive for the danger man, Hogue. He can't convert, and Cotton snatches the rebound. .90 seconds to play. 6-point lead for the Perth Wildcats. Doolittle. They milk the clock here. Hands going wild. Cotton off the mark.
So you want to just get the clock running down. Sydney trying to take the ball out of Bryce Cotton's hands. It might be a little bit too late to do that. I think they already ran out. Now they're just going to settle down and play in the half court.
Inside the last 60 seconds, Usher was there for a long time in the paint. Mismatch here against Sean Bruce. Goes one-on-one and gets it done. Well, timeout Sydney. 51 seconds to play, and the Wildcats lead it by 8 after we started this quarter at 83 apiece. Well, the best closers in the competition are chasing down a 6th successive win at the expense of the reigning champs. This has been impressive.
It's been a fantastic game of basketball. The only question I've got to ask is, where is Jonah Bolden? I'm surprised he hasn't been on the floor the whole fourth quarter off the back of what we've seen in the first 3.
We kind of went defensively out of there, and it hasn't worked for Sydney. Perth Wildcats, the work ethic, those little things that we talked about, winning their extra possessions in the backcourt, crashing the glass, and especially here at RAC Arena, the crowd gets right behind, and that's the next factor as well.
We're coming into this final quarter when scores were level. Sydney had led for 27 minutes and Perth had led for 2. And they have turned it on here with 27 points in this quarter to 19. And that was after they came up with 33 in the third, which is their highest third quarter of the year.
And Sydney have done that in a couple of games, Case. They gave up a lot of points. They give teams a chance to win, especially with Melbourne United a couple of weeks ago. That fourth quarter, they gave up a lot of points in that fourth. And again, they've done it here.
So they restart here looking for Valentine, and good pressure again from the Wildcats, who are playing in a bonus situation here, so they can't afford to foul. Well, they may not be too disappointed if they send Sydney to the free throw line. 13 of 26 from the stripe, Sydney. Well, Adams off the curl cut, got a good look. Caught it deep though, Doolittle the rebound. Happy to control the ball. It's a poor pass, showed too much of it to Sean Bruce, who went quickly. Comes back to Hogue, feeds Tui in the corner. It's hit 1-3 already, this time off the front of the rim. They've had chances and unable to convert, and will walk to the free throw line now. And Keanu Pinder will get the free throws.
Sometimes out of that situation, you just need a quick 2. Stay in a full court press, defend it, and taking some bad three-pointers, desperation shots, and try to get it back in one possession, and it's not going to happen.
They've taken 19 shots in this last quarter, the Kings, and 13 of them have been three-point attempts. Pinder up to 17 now, including 9 in this quarter.
all the studs came to play.
Yep.
I don't think you're walking away from the game right now saying we could have done this better or that better. It's just been a wonderful game of basketball. The only thing I think the Kings will say we should have done better is the free throw line. But I don't think we'll see this type of shooting display again, but that could have been the difference.
Adams collides with Jesse Wagstaff, who's called for the foul. So free throws to come for the Sydney Kings.
All right, 2 shots, go.
28.5 left on the clock. Perth in front by 10. After they were down 10 in the opening quarter, trailed for the vast majority of the game. They have turned it on when it's counted most. And 39 for Bryce Cotton, highest score by an individual in the competition this season. And the highest since he had 40 back in January of last season.
Just a little reminder, MVP matchup. He said he's still got it, still out there.
Again, another miss from the stripe for the Kings. Pinned to the rebound. Doolittle, he's got Usher ahead of him. Wagstaff joining in. And the Kings are scrambling here. And a foul called on Sean Bruce is going to send Bryce Cotton to the free throw line, where he is 12 of 14 in the game. And the MVP chants are coming again.
This is for numbers 4 and 0.
Yeah, Jesse missed it before for a layup.
Wide open
transition.
layup.
I'm telling you, you would have heard about that. But mark that down. And that's what you want, your best players to rise to the occasion in the last quarter. Scores tied going in that.
41 now for Bryce Cotton. Closing in his career high of 45. First 40-piece we've seen this season in the NBL after he had 4 last season, led by Mitch Creeks, 46. Derek Walton had 45. We saw DJ Vasiljevic reel up 42 against the Phoenix for Sydney, and Bryce Cotton's 40 against Illawarra, which was here in January.
The encyclopedia, Damo.
That's impressive,
rolls
wasn't
it
it?
off, and
I can't even spell encyclopedia, but I'm sitting next to one.
DJ Hogue, 18 points in the game for him. Well, they've thrown their best shot here, the Sydney Kings.
They did.
The Perth Wildcats, this is a credibility-building victory for them, no doubt.
Big time. And when a team shoots 43% with the threes and you still get the win, Sydney, you've got to fix up a few holes. They're giving up way too many points.
Well, the Perth Wildcats are celebrating. It's the highest score in the NBL this season. A virtuoso display from Bryce Cotton, who comes up with 41. The owner, Craig Hutchison, is happy. The Red Army is happy. And full time, it's Perth 114, Sydney 105.
Outstanding performance, Perth Wildcats. That was a big test for them, and nothing better than this man right here, 41 points. Wasn't going to let him get defeated tonight. His ability to score and bring the guys with him.
And again, he had a quiet first quarter. It's not like this was across 4 full quarters of great basketball. He was quiet in the first. Once he got going in the second, he just started dancing with the ball. He really wanted it in his hands. You could feel a special display coming on.
Put like a player of the game, Bryce Cotton with 41. We'll be back to wrap it up here from RAC Arena right after this as the Wildcats win by 9. What a night it's been at RAC Arena in Perth. Trust you've enjoyed our coverage on Friday Night Hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Bryce Cotton turned on a show. 41 points to steer his team from 10 down in the opening quarter and down still 6 in the third to win it here with the highest score of the season in the NBL, 114 to 105. Sydney Kings, reigning champs, gave Perth all they could handle, and they still found a way to win and are now going to overtake the Sydney Kings on the ladder. We'll get to that in a moment. The Blackmore shot chart for Bryce Cotton, that was MVP.
Without a question. They couldn't defend him at all. You know, Kobe was on him early, tried to get up there and deny. Just his quickness was so deciding in getting those 3 shots.
He just stayed with it. He didn't necessarily shoot the ball all that well from behind the three-point line, but because he's still willing to shoot them, it means the defense has to close up on him because he's capable of knocking it down. And then that hesitations, the crossover, he gets by them, gets to the ring, scored in an array of ways, especially feeding off some free throws.
Unbelievable performance, and Perth and Sydney swapped spots. Sydney were second and Perth were fourth, and that's how tight it was. But that's 6 in a row now. I mentioned I thought the jury was still out on that, but after seeing that there, you've got to say their best is good enough to win the whole thing.
Without a question. They were outstanding in the role plays, how they did it. Found the open man, and they well and truly. There was a big test for them tonight, and they came through with flying colours.
Big test tomorrow, the Phoenix against the Breakers, John Cain Arena from 5:30 Eastern, followed by Tassie against Adelaide from 8 o'clock as well. Big games keep coming, but they don't get much better than that. A little earlier tonight, it was Brisbane prevailing by 5 over Cairns. But here in Perth, the Wildcats have come up with a 9-point win, 114 to 105. Trust you've enjoyed it. On behalf of my co-commentators, Damian Martin, Trevor Gleeson and Annalie Maley courtside, and our hard-working crew behind the scenes who brought you this great game. I'm John Casey. Hope to see you again tomorrow night, the Hungry Jacks NBL, as we salute Bryce Cotton.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
Hi, that's Jet No.
Bryce, Foot Locker player.